Hey!
Hello. Hi there. How's everyone doing today?
So fine. We always cut it so fine.
Yes.
That's the wire every time.
All the time. If only all of you could see what happens backstage. But once again, like always, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jen in Singapore. That's Percy in the Philippines. And of course, that's Ange in Hong Kong. And welcome to a show we all created called Dear Future Grandkids. Now, this is a show where an interesting guest gets asked the important question. What would you say to your future grandkids?
Yes, we are live on Facebook and on YouTube, and it's 4 p.m. for a very good reason, as our guest today is based in the UK. So that makes it 9 a.m. over there. What a lovely way to kickstart the weekend.
It is indeed. And our guest kickstarted his inspiring adventure more than 25 years ago on his first trip to the US. And since then, he's been to over 125 countries and counting.
So today we will be building a video time capsule for a person who was born with a rare eye condition, cone dystrophy and photophobia, which meant that he was born without any color nerves in the back of his eyes. This meant that he was essentially blind since birth, and as he grew older, objects became harder to visualize to the point that he can only sense bright sunlight. At the age of 4, he also became slightly deaf in both ears, which became progressively worse over time. He's now considered 80% deaf or severely hard of hearing, according to audiologists. His story is inspiring as he has traveled the world independently and written 3 books about it. So please welcome blind author and world traveler, Tony Giles.
Hey, hi guys.
Hey, Tony!
Hey, how's it going?
You made it. You gave us a scare. With seconds to spare. You turn up, Tony.
So Tony,
Hey.
but we're excited to have you on the show.
I'm excited
The
to
name
be
of our
here.
show is Dear Future Grandkids. Yeah, we're excited. We've got a lot to talk about. The name of our show is Dear Future Grandkids. Did you ever imagine yourself as a grandfather?
Not really. Yeah. What a journey.
Well, I know you've got a lot of stories to tell. Definitely.
Sure.
And I know you're very resourceful as well. And I know that even the technical problems about joining us live and clicking on links and things like that, you just handle it with just no sweat. You just get it done and sort it out, don't you? It's amazing.
Yeah, let's just get on with it. Yeah.
Just get on with it. Yeah. So what made you decide to travel to every country?
Well, originally, as my dad sort of told me stories of his adventures before I was born. He was in the Merchant Navy back in the 50s, and he told me he just got going across Australia from coast to coast by train and sailing up the St. Lawrence River with icebergs floating down the ship's sides. I thought, oh, that sounds fun. And then I went to different special schools because of my eyesight. There was no support in my local school, so I traveled by taxi every day to a school for special kids about 30 kilometers from my home. I suppose that was sort of the start of it in a weird way. I was sort of 5 and 6. And then when I was 10, I went to a boarding school and stayed there for 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So my initial thoughts were I wanted to travel home and see my family. And then when I was 16, I got the chance to go to Boston in the States with the school for a week. And everything was so different. I could sense everything was louder. Traffic went in a different direction. It was quite confusing. And I thought, oh, I want more than this. I could sense the atmosphere in my skin and the sounds and the smells. And then I went back and I actually studied there. And when I was in the States, all my friends went down to Florida for spring break. And I thought, oh, they're not going to let me party and stuff. I didn't really want to see Mickey Mouse. So I planned a trip to New Orleans by myself. And yeah, I loved it. Went drinking every night and nightclubs and jazz and blues and the heat and that. I mean, I want to travel. Right, let's do this and see what happens.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And 125 countries later.
And a few more, yeah. So I'm actually
What
now
kind of
at
lessons?
140, so I've
It's
been
140 now.
140.
Whoa. You filled in a lot since your Wikipedia entry.
busy. Yeah. Can't keep up with me.
Can't keep up with you.
Yeah.
Name a couple of lessons you think you've learned from your travels, and I know there must be a lot.
Lessons. I mean, the biggest lesson is when I was young, I wanted to travel for escapism. I didn't want responsibility, and I struggled being blind and partially deaf. As a teenager, with all the other stuff going on, the hormones, and I think I struggled in social situations. I couldn't lip read, and it's hard to hear in crowds and stuff. And I kind of struggled to sort of work out who I was. And then slowly, as I traveled and I met more people, and I went to different countries with different cultures, I started to realize myself that people liked me for who I was, and it didn't matter that I was blind and deaf and a little bit crazy. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's great.
so I learned to sort of accept myself, and then I became a nicer person and better person. And I think also along the way, I learned more people, and I went to poorer places and villages. There's lots of less access to water and stuff. I learned to be more humble, and I think that's what traveling teaches you to be patient and to be humble. So hopefully I can pass that on to my grandkids one day.
Right. Wow. So you had to travel far to find yourself in a way,
Yeah.
find out who you were.
I think we all do in a way. We all go on our own journey, don't we? Whether it's in our head or physical.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Some people, it's just getting out and about and trying to get out the street, or try to make a cup of tea or do a simple task. For others, it's something deeper sometimes.
Yeah, very deep indeed. Well, we're going to try and get to know you better now with some quick fire questions. So here they come. Where were you born? Where were you born?
In a hospital.
I knew that was coming.
Small town in southeast England called Weston-super-Mare.
Ah, I've heard of that. Where did you go to school?
Oh, that's complicated. I went to school in Bristol to start with, and then I went to Coventry, which is in the Midlands of England. There are specialist schools for the blind, all different kids with different disabilities.
You said you went to university in Boston, right?
I went to university in Northampton to start with, and then spent 5 months in South Carolina, sitting on beaches.
I was going to ask what it was like for you. Did you?
It was sand, lots of sand, lots of beer.
Oh, that's a university experience then. It's perfect.
Yeah, I did a little bit. I was sort of studying real life rather than academia. It was great fun.
What were you supposed to be studying, Tony?
Yeah.
I was meant to be studying American history, politics, culture, whatever culture is.
You studied people there.
There's American studies degree. It's a mishmash of lots of stuff. And it's great fun. And I didn't do much work. I read lots of books like Jack Kerouac, On the Road, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Watched a lot of film, or listened to a lot of films. I was interested in the Vietnam Wars and stuff. Thought that was fascinating. And that gave me an insight of Vietnam and Cambodia and Southeast Asia, which made me really want to go there, which is what I did after I finished my degree. And eventually I did a master's degree a couple of years later in Birmingham, in the Midlands. People might have heard of Birmingham. Big smelly city.
Well, after the U.S., which technically, so you went to the U.S. for studies, right? But where was the first country that you actually went to after that?
Well, the first country I ever went to with my parents was a Greek island called Rhodes, in the Aegean. And the first country I went to by myself, without any adults or people restricting my movements, was the US. I studied there, and then after that I went to Australia, New Zealand, and eventually ended up in Thailand and Vietnam. It was a 5-month trip.
So with 140 countries and counting, I'm gonna test you a bit here. Now, which would be the warmest country you visited?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, and I'd probably say it was Perth in Australia.
Yeah.
I'd say Singapore's probably the most humid. Oh.
Yeah, Perth is really, really hot because I went to university there as well. So were you there during the summer? It's as high as like 44 degrees?
Yeah, 44. Yeah, I was there in like February once, and it was just sweating buckets.
Yeah, you could boil an egg on a car hood.
Yeah, really dry. Yeah.
So from the warmest, the hottest, that was Perth for you, 44 degrees during the summer. What was the coldest country you ever been to?
Well, the coldest place would be Antarctica, which isn't technically a country. But the coldest country, I was in Canada once, in Newfoundland, and it was minus 20 Celsius. That was cold.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh.
How many layers did you have on then? 7?
My socks, shoes, no, a couple. Yeah, a couple. It's the wind more than anything. The actual temperature is not so bad as the wind cuts through like a knife. That's the biggest problem.
So
I prefer the cold to the hot, though.
True.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah,
Not me.
Yeah. You can walk about when it's cold and that, and you can put layers on. When you're hot, there's only many clothes you can take off, isn't there? It's difficult to be naked in public.
Yeah. Well, true. I live in the tropics, so you want the opposite. So you like the cold.
Yeah.
So you've been to so many, 114 countries and counting. You've got countless of stories as well, and obviously you have now put that all into the 3 books you have written. Can you tell us about your books?
Yeah, so I've written 3 books, e-books about a blind guy's adventures, wandering around the planet, meeting people, doing crazy things. My first book was about why as a blind guy wanted to go and travel the world, or seeing the world my way, and it's about my early trips in America and studying and escapism. And I went to Australia and New Zealand and did bungee jumping and skydiving, which is amazing. The bungee jumping, if you can't see, is just fantastic. And it's like this rubber cord to you, and they say, Tony, we'll walk you to the edge, then we hit you 3 times, and you jump off. It's nothing else. Okay, I'll do that. It's Tony, isn't it scary? I said, no, well, I just close my eyes and jump off.
Oh my goodness.
It's like you're free falling, you're just dropping into nothing, and you don't know when it's going to hit. And then it goes bang, and your whole body explodes, and recoil, and you bounce, and you spin around, and then it drops, and then you bounce again. And it's just fantastic. I did one in Singapore a couple of years ago, and that's awesome. Yeah.
So I've done that. I've done that once, and I'm scared. And I know that you've done it. I hope I got it right. It's 17 times. Is that correct?
Yeah, so far, yeah. Yeah. But being blind has its advantages when it comes to things like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, and so I've described sort of these similar things in all my books. And then I wrote a second book about a big trip in the South America and North America called Seeing the Americas My Way. And then I published my latest book at the end of last year called Seeing a Slice of Southern Africa My Way. And it's about my first adventures in Southern Africa. I started in South Africa. I meet the people and experience food and music and different cultures. And then I wander up through Mozambique and across Zimbabwe and Zambia. And it was a real experience, a real eye-opener of experience how people live in very different conditions to what I discovered that the women in the villages have to walk 2-3 kilometers every morning to collect water, bring it back in buckets on their head, because that's the only source of water they got. I'm in England, I turn a tap, I'm like, oh, water. Wow, I don't think about it. So things like that taught me a lot. And that's what traveling could do to you. That's what it did to me. It was real education.
So, yeah, I'm sure, for sure. And what's been the most, it is fun, right? What's been the most memorable response that you've had to your books?
Well, I get lots of messages on my Facebook page and that, and people just say, oh, it's incredible. I couldn't do this if I went blind. And I tell them, yeah, you could. And I just, I get lots of little messages. I'm amazing and keep going and incredible, la, la, la. I just laugh at all. I think that's what I do. It's my job. I don't get paid. I'm very fortunate.
Right.
I'm very lucky. That's all good.
You do this full time as your job?
Well, it's kind of a job, yeah. But traveling.
I'm curious, Tony. Was there a particular point in your travels or in your life when you decided that you want to talk to more people and inspire them? Or did all that just happen sort of spontaneously? Because you are an inspirational speaker now. Did you decide on that?
Not really. I was traveling for fun. This is what I do and what I love. And then people say, "Oh, people get meeting me and telling me, and I mean, oh, you're inspiring, blah blah blah, and do amazing things." And I started to realize it's like, obviously, I can understand why disabled people would say that, because it's quite unusual for a blind deaf guy to go traveling around the world independently. But lots of non-disabled people were telling me. It inspired them to get up and do things they'd never thought they could do, and that kind of struck me. I thought, wow. And then I got invited to do a Tedx talk in Austria, and I thought, wow, this is going to be cool. Speaking of 1,000 people and make them laugh and smile, and I thought, well, maybe I'm onto something here. So that's kind of why I published my third book, to sort of keep inspiring people and show people that they can go to Africa and it's not. It's a dangerous place, like a lot of people think, and the media think, and that, and sort of show the world that you can live your dreams, and good people out there, and lots of good places to go and visit.
I saw your TED talk. You got a standing ovation there. I actually quoted your line, "It's only fear that holds people back from living their dream."
Yeah, you got to live your dream. Life's very short. Live your dreams, have fun, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be like travel around the world and throw yourself off buildings like I do. Just something simple.
17 times.
Yeah.
17 times.
Whatever makes you happy.
Tony, do you remember the opening line from your TED talk? Because it's very memorable.
Traveling is like sex. If you talk about it too much, you'll never do it. And that's an opening quote from my first book, Seeing the World My Way.
Fantastic.
And that's what I meant. Everyone talks about sex. Everyone talks about doing it, and they get around to it. And then people talk about travel. And they go, "Oh, I want to go to this place." And this, and they never do. They get too caught in their eyes. Just stop talking about it, man. Just do it. Come on, get it on.
So true. So true.
Tony, we've got to the part of the show now where we snoop around people's houses. It's one of our favorite things to do. Do you have anything?
You're nosy.
Can you pick up?
Yeah,
we're very nosy.
We're nosy.
That's well.
Right.
Do you have a corner of shame, maybe a forbidden hidden drawer or something that you normally don't show guests?
Oh, yeah, I don't showcase anything. I'll show you my friends I live with. I live with a group of guys. These are my gnomes.
Your gnomes?
You know?
Yeah, I got 5 or 6 gnomes. And they're really friendly. One of them says, "Please go away." Another one's asleep all the time. And yeah, I got a Rasta gnome. He came recently. He was homeless on the street, and I picked him up one day. And I've also got a female gnome, so they're starting to breed. Hopefully, they might have baby gnomes soon.
Tilt your computer down, Tony. Tilt your computer down because we can't see it. We're seeing the ceiling.
We're seeing the ceiling now. Yeah.
Oh well.
There you are.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got a collection of
That's what happens
gnomes.
when you're blind, you look at the ceiling all the time.
Yeah, nice to know you.
Nice to know you. Oh wow.
My
Gnome,
family.
sweet gnome.
Hey.
Yeah. And I've got a gnome in the kitchen. He's always got his pants down.
Oh, okay.
He's doing the
In the
washing
kitchen?
up. Yeah, in the kitchen. You want me to show you him? I can.
Sure.
Does he have
Sure.
pants on?
This is the kitchen, the messy kitchen.
It'll be the first time we've seen that.
You see
And,
the gnome
if
in
you
the
can see the gnome in the corner there.
Tilt
it's pointing up.
your computer down.
Tilt it
Pointing
down.
up.
Tilt it down. That's the pots and pans. That's the washer.
That's a
see the
washing
wash.
machine.
That's the washing
Kettle.
machine.
Yeah, he's up there.
Kettle.
He's just in the corner.
Is that
Oh,
the
yeah,
one in
yeah,
the
yeah,
corner?
yeah.
Yes.
No, he's got his
Yes,
pants
I
down.
know. He's got his bum sticking out.
Yeah, you see his bum. Yeah, my
Oh, yeah,
girlfriend
we see
likes
him.
him. My girlfriend likes him when she comes.
Yeah,
She's,
he's mooning us.
he's meant to be washing the dishes, but he doesn't do much work. The problem with them, they're not very disciplined. That's the problem with
cheeky.
gnomes. Yeah. So, you know, what can you do? They don't talk back, which is good.
Brilliant.
That's so brilliant. It's the first time we've been mooned by any object on the show, so that's a first for us.
Excellent.
Cheeky, yeah.
But like, yeah, well, you know, it's better than pets because they don't need feeding, they don't need walking.
Yeah,
or anything.
a good company.
Like, people ask me why I don't have a guide dog, and I say, well, like, if I travel with it, if I brought it to Asia, Vietnam, or something, you know, it turned into my lunch. So never travel with a guide dog. Yeah.
Too true.
Well, Tony.
Oh,
Yep, I can hear you, Percy.
Yep.
hello. You disappeared.
We're still here. Percy, we can
That's
hear
it,
you.
Yeah.
Have we lost Percy? Is Percy frozen?
Oh, no, Percy's moving. I'm not sure.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Tony,
Hello.
thank you for that mini tour.
No problem.
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah,
I'm disappearing, I think.
The bill will be in the post.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'm here. So,
Yay.
Tony, thank you for that mini tour. While you're on show and tell mode, Tony, do you have 2 items that mean something to you that you can show us?
Yeah. So obviously to help me travel, being blind, I need to find objects on the ground all the time so I don't trip over when I'm walking and find steps.
Okay, I think I disappeared.
So
You still here, Percy?
Yeah.
What
Go
is
ahead,
that, Tony?
Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
this is my my white long cane I use. And
Oh,
I sort of sweep it along the ground so I can find objects when I'm walking. And,
right. That cane must have many stories to tell.
Yeah.
yeah, well, there's never been one cane. It sort of goes through several.
Okay.
They get run over, unfortunately. It's a bit sad, and then they have to go to cane heaven and get a new one. But the end bit's the important bit because that's called a tip, and that's normally red. And that rolls along the ground, so I'm not getting stuck in bushes or dog poo. And
I did not know that.
Yeah, and if you're deaf as well, because the cane's meant to be white, it's normally white. But if you're deaf, you put red stripes along it, so it's red and white. So drivers, at least in the UK and the States and that, they know that person trying to cross the road is deaf and blind. So hopefully they'll stop it and also honk the horn. And then, yeah, so not many people know about that. They know about the white cane, but not about the red stripes. I don't put the red stripes on because they come off, especially in the heat.
I did not know that.
And also because I travel a lot and being blind, I need both my hands free. I need one hand on my cane, and if I meet someone and I'm being guided, I take their elbow. So I can't pull a suitcase like a lot of people. I wouldn't anyway. So I travel with a very light backpack. Ooh,
Cool.
it's a bit heavy at the moment. And so I've got both my arms free all the time. And I travel with very few items. I don't take many clothes. Especially in hot countries, I might, take 3 or 4 pairs of boxer shorts and a couple of t-shirts and my laptop. That's about it.
Nice and mobile.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing the items with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've shown us around your house. You've shown us we've been introduced to your gnomes. Maybe seen a little bit too much of one of them, but that's okay. Thank you for pointing out your essential items where you travel, your long cane, and your backpack as well. But this is Dear Future Grandkids. We like to give a platform to our guests to showcase their skills. But unfortunately for our show, we love pointless skills. So Tony Giles, do you have one? Do you have a pointless skill?
I do.
You do? Yes.
Yeah, I got several.
Okay.
Probably the best one is probably breathing.
That's not pointless, Tony.
I'm
No.
glad I'm back for this. Hi, Tony. I'm back.
Yeah.
Some of
Yeah.
my friends would say it is, but my other pointless skill is I can drum.
You can drum.
Well, sort of.
I wouldn't say that's pointless. That's pretty good.
That's pretty.
It's not that pointless.
Hey. Yay.
Yes, nice.
Thank you. It's good for
Very
annoying the
good.
neighbours.
See, that's
And
why
then
it's not pointless.
The nice thing about this drum is my brother bought it me when I was about 15, 16. And it's from Sri Lanka, so it's tapered. So it's got a drum at each end, and then one end's thinner than the other. So I can sit in my lounge drinking a cup of tea and annoy the neighbours.
Wow. Must be good stress relief. Not that you seem like a guy who's ever that stressed.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, look,
I've also discovered that my other pointless skill is annoying people. So I'm quite good at it. Just ask my family.
You do fine in my household. You do fine.
Yeah, thank you. I'll be over next week.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yay!
Fit right in. Fit right in.
tell us a bit about your family, Tony. What they like? What have you learned from them? Are there any family mottos that the Giles clan always share with each other?
My family are amazing, particularly my mum. I'm the third kid of three. I got an older sister who's 8 years older than me. I'm 42 at the moment, so I better not say her age. And then I got a brother who's 6 years older than me. Like I say, my mum's amazing. She realised that when I was little and they discovered I was blind, she realised I wasn't any different to them. I just couldn't see. So she knew I had to get educated. But I'd be accepted as a child blind, but not as an adult. So she realised I had to be educated. So the hardest thing she ever did was send me to boarding school. She wouldn't see me for 6 weeks, 8 weeks. That was really tough for her, but she knew it was the best thing she ever did. I've had a stepdad since I was 10. He was really cool. He introduced me to football or soccer and other sports and history and stuff. And he told me stories about he worked for a big airplane engine company called Rolls-Royce, and he'd come home and tell lots of stories about his work colleagues and that. And I always thought, that's a great job. He never actually does any work, so that was good fun. But they sort of helped me and that, support me in different ways. My mum actually makes maps for me. We've got this kind of orange glue, and she'll get a map off the internet and blow it up. So I say I want to go to like Singapore, Malaysia, Myanmar, where are these countries? I've heard of them, I know about them. So I can listen to them on the radio or listen to all their books, but where are they in relation to? So she'll get a map and then she'll put this orange glue around the borders so I can feel the shapes of the countries, and then she'll put a blob next to the major cities like Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, or I don't know, whatever in Myanmar or Delhi in India, and then I can feel the bumps and I can work out where they are in relation to each city, and then we put a little braille name against the blob. So my mum's amazing in doing that, and she helps me book flights and research. So without her, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. So they're okay.
Oh, she sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool.
I should say we don't live together. I live on my own. I always have done, independent. But they're about 100 kilometers away, so not far. About an hour's drive.
Do you see her often?
Not too often, because we're both kind of independent. But we talk a lot on Zoom and that every day or every other day on the phone and that. Yeah. It'd be a bit more difficult since COVID to see each other, but now it's sort of slowly changing. Yeah, we met up actually on Tuesday. We went to this ancient archaeological site in Bath, Roman Bath. So that was fun, in the southwest of England. That was pretty cool.
Nice. And then on your website as well, that you mentioned that you sometimes travel with your girlfriend, and that's when, hopefully when COVID's done, when travel is really allowed again, you want to go to visit her in Greece. Can you tell us about her? Yeah,
so my girlfriend's name is Tatiana. She's from Greece, and we've been together for about 12 years. And we met via the internet accidentally. I wasn't really looking for a girlfriend. So yeah, and she found my website and she liked the way I describe things. She's also blind, but she only went blind when she was 16 from eye pressure on the eyeball and that. It was very sudden. So she went from having some sight to having no sight. So that was quite a shock. And then 10, 15 years later, she was using the internet, using speech reading screen software to navigate the internet on the laptop. And she came across my website one day and liked the way I described, so she emailed me, and we were like pen friends for a year. And I thought, oh, nice girl, whatever. And then eventually, thought, oh, I've not been to Greece apart from Rose. But, let's go to Greece. She said, oh, come to Greece. You want to meet up and have coffee, dinner, whatever? And so I went to Greece and I got her email and said, oh, I'm in this hostel. And she called, oh, come over one night. So I took her to this restaurant I found around the corner. And she had a Greek salad. And she wouldn't let me pay. I went, oh, that's different. So we sort of chatted and that. And, good. I'm on to a good thing here. Girl pays me good. Winner. Yeah. No diamonds needed here. Yeah, so it was, one thing led to another. We sort of talked and emailed, and then I went back to Greece a year later and just went from there, really. And like I said, we've been together, since 09, so yeah, it's 12 years, 13 years. And she comes over here when she gets time off work, and I go to Greece. So yeah, hopefully at the beginning of June, I'm going to fly to Greece for a month. And, and we also travel together, but she likes more comfortable travel, being a girl and being blind now. Yeah, I'll sleep anywhere with anything, snakes, mud. I've traveled around Asia and had lots of squatting over toilets, just holes in the ground. And she's a bit, she didn't like that. She wanted, double bed en suite, all that, breakfast in bed. Yeah, but it works. It's just yin and yang or whatever. So
it is yin and yang.
We just have a laugh. She makes me happy, and
as long as she's paying, so yeah.
Yeah.
Jen.
What?
Yeah. We got 2 cane. We got a cane each, and we fight along each other. The canes we walk on the street.
Oh, I want to see that. Oh,
yeah.
Swords at dawn.
She pushes me in the She pushes me in the thing, the buildings and holes. Yeah, that's all good.
That's really sweet. How long have you guys been apart during this pandemic?
Sorry?
How long have you guys when did you last see each other?
Oh, heck. February 2020. So yeah, too long.
Too long.
Oh wow.
16 months ago.
Are you planning to go over there again?
Yeah, I mean, phone's okay, Skype's okay, but it's not the same as touching, is it? So,
Yeah.
So over a year plus. Wow, yeah.
Been over a year.
Yeah. A long time. I mean, gnomes are good, but it's not quite.
Not the same. Not the same.
Tony, we got to the point of that show where we asked you to get your phone and to leave a voice message to someone important in your life. As you said, we're nosy, so we like eavesdropping as well.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell us whom. Of course, you gave us a few candidates already from what you described as your family and your girlfriend.
I think you want me to leave a message for you, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, we are important to you, so yeah.
Yeah. Did you get my number?
I don't mind. I'm not sure you can pay me enough.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a call from you, Tony. Then.
Yeah. Right. 999 and.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hello, Tatiana, my sweet, my Greek goddess. You're amazing and special, and you've made my life even more amazing than what it already was. So I love you forever. Bye.
Oh,
That is so sweet.
That's
Yeah.
really, really sweet. Oh, well, if Tatiana replies before the end of the show, would you share it with us?
Yeah, she replies, but she's probably still in bed.
Probably it's
Get your
early
time
there.
difference, yeah.
It is a Saturday.
True.
And Greeks do everything at a slower pace of life. They're much more laid back. So first time I went to Greece, so we were out and then we went to restaurants, tavernas, and we were sitting outside in the hot sun. And I ordered a drink, and then I drink quite quickly. So I wanted to order another one, so I'm waving and trying to get the waiter's attention, which is really difficult when you're blind because you can't make eye contact. And nobody came over for about 10 minutes. Oh, it's unbelievable. So I learned from that on that every time you order a drink, order 3. You might not get served for an hour.
Well done. I was going to say order 2, you order 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, order
That's
3 or
good
4.
advice.
Good thinking. Good thinking. Now, Tony, do you have any sort of principles or philosophies that you live by?
I have one mantra: live life. Live life to the full. Do everything. Because life's very short. I always say I won't see the bus that runs me over.
So your mantra is live life to the fullest. But is there anything that you are afraid to do?
Afraid?
Yeah. Anything you're afraid of? Anything you're afraid to do?
Get married?
Oh, she sounds lovely, Tony. What are you afraid of?
Tony, she pays for her own dinner or pays for your dinner. What are you talking about? Marry the girl.
Let me think
That
about
is
it.
such a Jen answer.
So you're not thinking about it. It's not on the horizon yet, huh?
Well,
So, and you're not afraid of anything then? Definitely not.
I'm a little bit afraid of maybe walking over coals, hot coals, but not too much.
Fair enough.
Not too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. So that's a guy who bungee
That's
jumped
kind of
17 times.
That's kind of the custom thing to do if you go to places like Tonga and Fiji. You gotta prove your manhood and walk over hot coals and don't look down. That might be a bit tough.
Wow.
No, once you kind of bungee jumped and skydived and done all that.
Yeah.
Once you've had a relationship, then there's not much else to fear. Really.
Which is scarier, the relationship or the bungee jumping?
Oh, the relationship.
So many lessons I've learned from Tony, right? Live life to the fullest. Once you've been in a relationship, you're not afraid of anything.
Yeah, you can do anything. Yes, good.
Bungee jumping is easy. There's no compromising. You just jump off. A relationship, there's so many questions. There's so many things you can get wrong. There's so many things you can say wrong. Oh.
True. That really is true. Tony, do you have any strange rituals or habits?
Are children watching this program?
Yes, there may be children watching.
Maybe
this
it's 4 p.m.
All right, that might limits my answer quite considerably. Strange. Just being myself is pretty strange. No, not what I probably do. I probably do that I don't know of. Not really.
You're not superstitious or anything.
Sorry?
Are you superstitious or anything like that?
No, I'm not superstitious. No, I'm not afraid of black cats. I walked on the ladders. None of that.
Okay.
My favorite number is number 7. I don't know if that means anything. I collect things. That's the kind of only sort of weird. That's weird, but
What do you collect? Apart from gnomes, what do you collect?
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't collect gnomes. They're my family.
Oh, okay.
They come into my life.
They just come into your life.
It's like having grandchildren, You don't collect a gnome. I collect fridge magnets of places I've been. Interesting thing.
I do that as well, yeah.
but they had to be tactile magnets. There's no use having a piece of smooth slate. I also collect unusual shaped stones for my trips on the beach, or unusual things I find. I got a pine cone, I think, and I got lots of unusual bits and bobs. I got someone gave me a silver $5 Canadian coin. I've got, and I got a square coin from somewhere. That's quite weird. And I also got some coins with holes in the middle.
Right.
From somewhere, like Moldova or somewhere like that. That's quite weird. So anything I can touch. When you're blind, it's important to touch things and smell things. And that's what I look for when I plan my trips. Can I find places with statues? Like we go to Alexanderplatz in Berlin. There's this big square in the eastern part of the city, and it's got this big fountain I can hear, and it's got these 4 women. They represent the 4 rivers, and they're very tactile. They're quite big. That's good. And lots of things like that I find. Fountains, waterfalls, rivers, anything with noise, anything with smells. I go to lots of markets, and I may go to Japan. It was incredible. Tatiana and I went there about 4 years ago, and just every little dish had about 6 different textures and flavors, and it was I couldn't pronounce any of the names, too difficult. But I just remember that's the most amazing food I've eaten in Japan. Yeah, it's things like that you need when you're blind, to make any trip interesting.
No, but that's amazing. You said there was a point, I think, in your TED talks or one of your interviews where you talked about everybody being fixated with the architecture and seeing things, but you pay attention to all the other senses, and that's a fantastic way of looking at it.
I mean, where most people are just using the sight to see things, experience, I'm using all my other senses to give me a mental picture of the area I'm in. And of course, the most important thing about traveling is the people, because without people in a different country, there's no point. You can look at a mountain for so long, but then it gets a bit boring. You need people, you need laughter, you need interesting conversation, you need debate and argument. That's how you learn things. That's how you learn about other people and their cultures and about yourself. And countries and cultures are interesting. How people live.
Yeah. That's an amazing way of looking at it. There was another thing you said in an interview. You said anyone can travel if they really want to. It doesn't have to cost much. I think the majority of people are afraid of the unknown and prefer to stay within their comfort zone. Was there a point in your life where you had a comfort zone, and how did you get past it?
Oh yeah, well the first time I traveled by myself outside of the UK and Europe, like I said, I went to New Orleans and got the staff at the university to help me book a flight and book a hostel. And I thought I'd just get to the airport, get a taxi. That was pretty straightforward. And then I wanted to go to Bourbon Street. It's the main party street in New Orleans. So it's mostly pedestrianized, where all the music happens and stuff, and strippers. And so I asked the hostel staff member, how do I get to Bourbon Street? Well, he said, well, you walk out the door, go down the steps, turn left, walk 4 blocks, you find a tram. And it was about 30 degrees Celsius, and humidity was about 98. And I walked down the steps, stood on the street, and I just froze. I was 21 years old, and I thought to myself, I can't do this. I'm totally blind. I'm partially deaf. I'm in a foreign, dangerous city. How am I going to find a tram stop? I can't see. And I just panicked. My muscles are shaking. I was sweating like a monkey. I started panicking, started taking deep breaths, and I said to myself, Tony, this is what you've come in to do. This is what you want. This is the challenge. If you don't want it, turn around, go back in the hostel, go home. I took 7 more deep breaths, turned left, walked up the street 4 blocks, found some guy, asked him for the tram stop. He put me on, went down to Bourbon Street, took about 20 beers, 12 whiskeys, hit every bar in the place, jazz, blues, topless women swinging out rooms, and had a blast. And I've never looked back. And that was what, 20 odd years ago.
And that was quite a reward for not looking back.
And that's in my first book as well.
It's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
about getting through it. It's about simplifying it and saying I can do this and I'm good at this. And whether it's something like traveling or whether it's something as simple as making a cup of coffee or a sandwich or just tying your shoelaces, just keep doing it, keep trying till you do it, and you will get there. And sometimes it just takes patience and perseverance, and sometimes it takes being humble enough to ask for help. And that's what I learned along the way as well, to ask for help, not be afraid to ask for help.
Is there a story, Tony? Is there a story, Tony, from your travels that you would really want your future grandkids to know about, or a lesson?
I think I would just say to my future grandkids, just look at my travels and look at the way your blind, deaf granddad has tried to live his life and tried to experience everything and take in everything, and try and broaden his horizons and just do that. Live life, try and experience everything. Some things you'll like, some things you won't, and try and learn from those experiences and become better people, and then share it with others and people. Try to help people less fortunate. And share. That's what it's about. It's about sharing and give and taking. We learn from each other. And hopefully that way we can make a better world.
And is there a way you'd like to be remembered?
Not particularly.
None at all?
Blind crazy guy, did bungee jumps. Lived life. I think if I had a stone or whatever, which is had like Tony Giles, whatever to whatever, lived life.
Oh,
I don't want much.
Yep.
Well,
do you have any regrets? Is there any advice do you think your 80-year-old self would give the Tony Giles of today?
Stop letting gnomes into your house, Tony.
Their family. Their family.
Good advice.
good advice. I'll just jump in. You know,
I don't know. I mean, maybe my 80-year-old self would tell me, maybe slow down a bit, Tony, and maybe spend more quality time with the people nearest and dearest. Maybe that's what I'd say.
That's wise. Tony, Happy Lee is watching, and she says, or he says, I'm partially blind, and it's nice to hear these stories. I'm also afraid to travel, and it's inspiring to hear how you overcame that fear.
Wow, thanks for writing
Cool.
in, Happy.
Yeah, great.
Thanks.
You've inspired at least one person, Tony. That makes it
That's
worth
it,
it, right?
You inspire one person every hour of every day of every year, and then the world will be a happier place.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Absolutely. Truly, truly inspiring, Tony. And you know what? We're so happy that you spent time with us today building this video time capsule. But as we close the show and you're closing the lid, you get to leave a message. Now, what do you want to say to your future grandkids now?
Dear future grandkids, this is Granddad Tony. I want to say to you, live life, have fun, and do everything once. And be happy.
Wow. Very
Lovely,
simple.
lovely message. Powerful.
Tony, thank you so much for being on the show today. Everything you said was really inspiring.
Absolute pleasure. Check out my website, guys, tonythetraveler.com.
And your books too.
Oh, yeah. Seeing a slice of Southern Africa my way. It's a great read.
Yeah. All I've got pictured in my head is you in New Orleans, finally getting there and downing 12 beers and I don't know how many things and having the time of your life. And that started your passion in traveling. That's amazing. Rock and roll. I've learned that lesson. Just take the first step. Right,
Yeah.
Tony?
Yeah.
Take the first step.
Just take the first step.
Yeah, take the first step and no looking back.
Yeah, anything's possible. Put your
Live
mind
life.
Live life.
Again, thank you, Tony. And thank you to all our lovely viewers for joining us today.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for all the messages that you've left to our viewers on YouTube and on Facebook. We do read them all. We never quite get round to replying to all of them, but we do read them all, and it's much, much appreciated.
Yeah, thanks, guys. That's great.
Yeah, and thank you all for watching Dear Future Grandkids. I'm Jen, that's Percy and Ange, and thank you to our guest once again, Tony Giles. Thank you, everyone. Take care and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Tony. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thanks, Tony.